Hey y'all, so this video is going to be a little different. I'm going to be doing a get ready with me plus a debt-free chit chat, and it's something that I have not really seen anyone do, but I have been getting suggestions from people to like do my looks on my face, which I think is weird because I rarely wear makeup, but I thought it would be fun, and I'm always looking for new fun ways to talk about money because I know it's not the most fun topic and it can get kind of boring and stale. So this will be fun. First things first, make sure you are subscribed, leave a comment, and let me know if you like videos like this, because I can totally do some more. I love watching makeup tutorials on YouTube, so I feel like I've been preparing for this my whole entire life. My makeup is very minimal. I'm probably going to get done with my look before I get done talking, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and get into it. Today we are going to be talking about the things people don't tell you about a debt-free journey. We are going to be talking about like the forbidden fruit. So yeah, I have my notes here. So we are going to go ahead and jump into number one. Okay, so before I get started, I like to use a 3-in-1 base. It's the rose. I've always wanted, hopefully you can see that. I've always wanted rose water, but I was too cheap to buy it and I couldn't really find any. So I like to just spray this, even though I'm not going to use foundation because I don't like foundation. I typically just use concealer and that's it. But we're going to be extra today because we're on camera. I'm totally out of order right now. This is harder than it looks. While that's sitting, first thing is there will come a time in which you are going to be extremely jaded on your debt-free journey. You are not going to be motivated all the time, and I like to think that this moment in time comes when you're in the thick of your journey. So you're not at the beginning and you're not at the end, because when you first start you're really excited, and then when you are at the end you're really excited because you're like, heck yeah, I'm done. And at the beginning you're like just getting started on something, and you know, when you start something and everything is new, it's really exciting. But whenever the newness wears off and you've got a little while to go, you are going to get into this stage where you are just like, I'm over it. And I have been in this stage so many times, and this is when determination and dedication are going to come into play. When you are dedicated, you are going to stick to the script. And whenever I'm feeling like I'm just over it, I don't want to budget anymore, I'm tired of being cheap, I want to get my nails done, I want to go get, you know, a new comforter set or whatever, being dedicated to the end goal, which is being debt free, has really kicked into high gear during those times when I really need it, because I'm just doing it because it's become a habit. Sticking to my budget and everything has become a habit. So there are going to be times in which it's not all sunshine and roses, but just stick to the script, because dedication and persistence is going to get you to the end. Okay, so pretty much all I put on my face is concealer, because in my mind I have dark circles, and yeah, it's just not cute. I want to look alive, so I want to look like I'm from Dawn of the Dead. And I do have a beauty blender. I don't really use it. I kind of use my fingers for everything, and I feel like my fingers kind of suck up a lot of the oil as well. So I will pull my concealer down to go by my nose, and then kind of like make a triangle just as far out as it can go. And then I like to press it into my skin because I don't want to look like a holy ghost whenever the sun hits it. Yeah, that's good. All right, so next thing, the debt-free community. So community is key. It's great to be around other people who are paying off debt because they are going to motivate you. But I find that the debt-free community is kind of like a religion, and whenever you go against someone's beliefs, whenever you are challenging someone's beliefs, people can kind of lose their mind. And it's the same way with debt payoff strategies. So if you challenge how someone believes paying off debt should be, people kind of short circuit. They lose their minds, and I have legit seen people go at it in the comments. Like, people are insulting other people. People just get so nasty. And I think that they forget that their way is not the only way. Their way is not necessarily the right way. And it's like with religion, you know, there are different religions for different people, different strokes for different folks. And just because you follow a certain belief does not mean that everyone else has to follow a certain belief, you know. But when you step out of someone's norm, it's really uncomfortable for them, and they short circuit. And when I started my debt-free journey, in the beginning, when I was new to the community, I would, if I didn't agree on like what the big gurus were saying, I would not want to rock the boat. So I would not say anything that I thought would cause people to attack me or question why I was doing certain things. But now, like, I literally don't care. I just don't care. I have learned that my money, what I do with my money, is my business, and I don't have to explain how I go about my debt payoff journey to anyone. And so whenever you come into this community, you have to remember that, like, there is more than one way to get to the end goal. Like, it does not matter how you paid off your debt. It just matters that you got to the finish line. So you don't have to explain anything to anyone about what you do with your money and how you are going about this journey, period. How I do my eyebrows is going to be kind of weird. I like to use gel. I use Eco Styler gel. It's the same gel that I use for my edges, and I have Rona brows right now, so they're growing out and they are just all over the place. So to keep them in place, I will put like a thin layer of gel on them, and then I will use this spoolie and brush them up and get them looking decent. And the gel, whenever it dries, it just helps to keep it in place. And in my mind, it makes them look thicker and just more clean, because I am trying to grow them out. So see the difference. This one looks a mess, and this one looks fairly decent, as decent as it's going to get right now. So I will do the same thing for this side. And next on the list is budgeting. I think when people start on their debt-free journey, they automatically assume that you have to be perfect patty with your budget. And the people that are paying off debt never go over budget. They never overspend. But in reality, people do it all the time. I do it all the time. I'm not always perfect when it comes to my budget. As long as your heart is beating and there's oxygen coming in and out of your nostrils, you will make money mistakes. You will come over budget. You will go in Target and make it rain sometimes. You are not going to be perfect because you are human and things happen. We have emotions, and a lot of spending happens when we are going off of emotion. And when you are someone like me who teaches people about money, it's embarrassing to say, hey, I screwed up. So you don't really see it as much. So it's easy to feel like you're alone whenever you go over budget. It's easy to feel like something's wrong with you, but just know that it happens all the time, and your money mistakes don't define you. You just learn a new way in which something won't work. You learned a new way to up your strategy, because Now you know going forward what to look out for and what to do. It's not about your money mistakes, it's about how you bounce back from them. So as long as you bounce back and you do better going forward, then you did not make a mistake. Just forgive yourself so you can move past it. That's it. That's all you have to do. Forgive yourself. If you screwed up, go back and analyze the situation, see what has happened, and just move forward. Now that I have pressed in the concealer with a powder, I am going to move to contouring. Now, I don't always contour, but sometimes, like now, my face just looks really I like to add like some definition to my face. So I'm using, it's Wet n Wild. It's really cheap. Wet n Wild contour. I think I got it on sale for like $4 at Dollar General. I will go over my forehead, my nose, of course, my cheeks, and sometimes I like to go down here and just make it look more clean cut. And once again, I'm not using a beauty blender. I don't even know where mine is, so I'm going to use my finger. You know, I am not, this is harder than it looks. I am not a beauty vlogger. I don't know how they do it. Yeah, while I'm pressing this in, let's go into the next topic, and that is the forbidden fruit. So when you are paying off debt, aka on your debt-free journey, debt is like a sin. It becomes like the unthinkable. So to think about going into more debt is just crazy. It's something that's not, you just don't speak about it. But the reality is that you may go into more debt a few times, and I've gone into debt 4 times on my journey. And I remember in the beginning, I felt like such a failure because I did not see anyone really talking about it. But life will not stop just because you are on your debt-free journey. Life does not know you have set out to pay off all debt. And it's not going to wait until you get to all zeros to start up again. You can't just press pause, you know? Your car is not going to be like, you know what, she's working real hard to pay me off. Let me not die until she gets me paid off. It's not going to happen. The world is still going to turn, so there's still going to be a probability that you go into more debt. You may run up a few credit cards, you may take out a personal loan, etc. It's just going to happen because it's life. And a lot of the times people don't see the behind the scenes of reaching debt freedom. All they see is, you know, you started here, you kept progressing, and then you got to the finish line. They did not see the zigzags that happen. And that was with me as well. Every time I went into more debt, I didn't see anyone zigzag. So to me, it looked like their journey was linear. And then here I am over here zigzagging, going up and down. But to someone else looking at me, they may think the same thing, you know? Paying off debt is a marathon, not a sprint. So you just have to accept that life threw you a curveball, but keep your sight on the end goal. Never give up on the end goal, which is to pay off debt. You may have to tweak your strategy. You may have to change your debt payoff date like I did a few times. Yes, it hurts, but in the end, dedication and consistency is going to get you to all zeros. And just do your best to prepare for the unexpected. And saving money is preparation, and we all know that preparation is key. Okay, so I turned down my ring light a little bit just so you can see what's going on. But now that I have concealer, I tamed my eyebrows as best as I could. I did my ratchet version of contouring. I now like to go highlight crazy. Like, I like looking glowy and shiny. So I'm gonna start with this highlighter here, and it's so pretty. Let me see, it's by Wet n Wild, and Wet n Wild is really cheap, which is why I have a lot of Wet n Wild. But this next topic is a little funny. You won't have shit to show for your accomplishments, at least not for a while. So I say to succeed on a debt-free journey, you have to be a visionary. You have to be able to turn into a visionary, because your vision is literally all you have at the end of the day. Because while your balances are dwindling, you're still driving that same ratchet car, and you are still in that same apartment that's out in the middle of the boonies, me. So like, to other people, they're like, this girl is struggling. What does she mean she's paying off debt? They don't see it, right? Only we can see our visions. And so your vision is literally your compass, and it's the only thing that you really have during this time. And no one's going to have access to your bank accounts, or they shouldn't. So they're not really going to see your balances go down like you. And you're going to look around and be like, you know, I want that new handbag too, or I want this and I want that, and I'm putting in all this work and I don't have anything to show for it. But you know that you are going to give yourself such a better life than where you would have been if you had not started this journey. But it's just hard sometimes to watch other people like get new houses and stuff, and you're not able to do that. And you're basically keeping your expenses the same, and that was key for me. Like, no matter, you know, how fast I was climbing up the ladder, I made a point to keep my expenses the same. And this was key to me being able to pay off as much debt as I do with a moderate income. So I really feel like, you know, I don't have much to show for my sacrifices, my hard work and determination right now, but I know my time is coming. I just have to be patient. And then when you get to the finish line, then, you know, you can treat yourself. You can move out of that ratty apartment to something a little better. Maybe get yourself a new mattress. And then when you your vision manifests itself into the physical, people are like, oh yeah, you know, now I see what she was doing. It's getting a little dark. Let me now I'm gonna go in with my favorite highlighter. It's a little highlighter stick, and it's shimmery. I think this is from Wet n Wild 2. I don't know, but the name of it rubbed off. But I like to put this at the end of my nose and on the bridge of my nose and on my cheeks. So what's next? Oh yeah, so this one may ruffle a few feathers as well, but it does not take gazelle intensity to get out of debt. And before I joined Instagram, I didn't even know what gazelle intense was, but from what I gather, it is when you go hard, like you cut off everything, you put all of your extra money towards debt, you play no games. Like, you are not allowing yourself to travel, you don't eat out, etc. Everything revolves around paying off your debt balances. And I saw a post not too long ago that says, in order to get out of debt, you have to be gazelle intense. I call BS. To me, that is it's BS, because especially if you're not a high earner, it may take you years to get out of debt. I'm talking 5 to 10 plus. So to tell someone that they basically have to deprive themselves of every form of entertainment, any form of joy, and just focus solely on paying off their debt balances, that's not sustainable. To me, like, that is completely unrealistic. It's unrealistic to go 5-10 years and not do anything for yourself. So I tried this in the beginning, and I was literally miserable to the point where I almost quit, because I just felt like it was draining me mentally and emotionally. It's already a draining journey, and to say that you're not going to allow yourself any form of joy, you're really going to wreak havoc on your mindset, and your mindset is your biggest asset in this journey. So you have to find a healthy balance between having some form of joy or entertainment and being financially responsible. I will never again tell someone to cut off everything that they enjoy just for the sake of paying off debt ever again, because I have been through that and I never want to be through that again. So if I want to go to Starbucks every so often, I'm going to put it in my budget, but I'm definitely going to go, and I'm not going to think twice about me saving that $3 and putting it towards my student loans. I'm just not going to do it. I'm sorry. And I am at the end of my debt-free journey. So I have a little over $6,000 left, and I'm not gazelle intense, and I am pretty much there. So that's why I say I call BS on that. And people just have to remember, and you have to remember, that just because something works for you and you can mentally handle being without certain things to motivate you, it's not going to work for everyone. So people have to realize that when they say things like that, that works for you and your journey, but your journey is not this person's journey, and this person's journey is not my journey. So it's not going to work for everyone, and people should just stick to what works for them, because just because someone can mentally handle cutting off everything in all forms of entertainment doesn't mean that the next person is going to be able to handle it. Your mindset is different than the next person's, so their strategy is just going to have to be a little different. Now I'm on to my third highlight. I was serious when I said I go nuts on the highlight. So this one is Juvia's Place, and oh, it's so pretty. It's like, oh shoot. Okay, I'm just going to show y'all what's in the top. So it's like a champagne color. It's not going to focus, but this one, I love this one. I really wish my camera showed this highlight better, showed everything better. I like to put it on the top of my lips too, because I'm sure I'm really shining right now. I'm going to turn this up. Next thing is very important, and that is the fact that you will probably lose people along the way. Whenever you set out on a debt-free journey, you are setting out to achieve the impossible. That's what most people think that debt freedom is. It's the impossible. So as you progress on your journey, there's going to be this unconscious mindset shift that happens, and you're going to start seeing things a lot differently than you would have before had you not started on the journey. And that's good, because since you are setting out to achieve the impossible, it's going to take a major mindset shift. You will start to notice that things that used to excite you don't excite you anymore, and you will start seeing things so differently, certain situations, and pick up on things that just are unsettling to your soul, such as people saying that they're going to make the minimum payments on their debt, student loan debt, and just wait for the government to pay them off.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. Yeah. For real.
This was me. That was something that I said I was going to do. I said I was going to make the minimum payments. I wasn't necessarily going to wait for the government to pay them off, but I just decided that I was going to live with my student loan debt for the rest of my life. So I was just going to pay them the bare minimum. And now people that say that to me, I'm just like, girl, no. But when you are changing or elevating, you tend to leave certain people behind because you are advancing to a new level, and those people may not be ready to advance to that level yet, or they just may not care to ever get to that level. And when you are changing, naturally we don't like change as humans. So change makes us uncomfortable. And when people recognize a change in you, their natural response to that is to try to pull you back into that person that you were before. But we know that on your debt-free journey, you have to transform into this new version of yourself. You're not losing yourself, but you are getting to know yourself, because you have had to give up things, and you had to really sit down and evaluate your values. You know, what really adds value to your life, what really makes you happy, and what can go. So you are transforming into this better you, and so sometimes you just have to leave people behind because they are not gonna like it, or they just don't simply understand. And I'm not saying like leave everybody behind, but just remember to surround yourself with like-minded people and to have a good support system, because community is key. And just know that, you know, your journey is not for everyone to understand. Okay, so we are pretty much done. I'm just going to do my lips, and that's it. Oh yeah, and I will add some mascara. This is what I've been using. It's bold lash mascara by LA Colors. I got this at Dollar General. It was on sale for a few dollars as well. So this is the grand finale here. Shout out to all the YouTube makeup artists, because this was a challenge. Okay, so I try to find better lighting, but hopefully you guys can see the highlight. This is pretty much it. That's it. Very basic. This is my everyday makeup look. Nothing special, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this little get ready with me chit chat about the things people don't necessarily tell you about a debt-free journey. And if you like this video, be sure to comment. If you want to see more like this, give it a thumbs up and subscribe.